Hey everyone, we have Manmeet Kaur here, who's a digital marketing agency owner who helps coaches with her lead generation storytelling framework that we are going to hear from her, and also her story of how she ventured into entrepreneurship and then went into a multiple sales generation model with her business. So Manmeet, welcome to my YouTube channel. Uh, we'll love to hear your story. What is it that you do, and how you became the person that you're today?
Thank you so much. I
Yeah,
am honored to be here. Thank you so much.
wonderful. So let's begin with where you all started. What is the one inspiration that was your motivation factor to venture into business and self-employment?
I think back then, now the goals have changed, but I'll tell you what was back then. Back then, my number one goal to get into business, like everybody else, was to make more money because there's a
Yeah,
mindset that if you're doing business, there's more profit. And there's
right,
also a mindset which is that you'll have freedom of time, which comes after a certain level. It's not that you
right,
jump into entrepreneurship and you have the money and you have the time. So I think those two concepts lured me back then, but now my experiences are different. So I'll keep the
okay.
answer short. Back then, I wanted the freedom of time and I wanted more profits, which comes with entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Okay, okay, got it. So it's the freedom of time and money freedom to be your own boss and then not depend on someone else for your bill payment is what motivated you to start. Okay,
Yes,
that's
yes,
wonderful.
absolutely.
So how did you choose digital marketing and what is it? Do you have a background in that field, or is it something that you thought it was a trending in thing and that let's dive in this field?
I definitely thought it was a trending thing. I do have a background in it and I have a long story, which I'll try to keep short.
Okay,
But I come from a very diverse background when it comes to my education. I've done
okay,
political science honors from Hindu College, Delhi University.
okay,
And while I was doing that, in the second year of my college, I started pursuing Japanese because I wanted to do undergrad in Japanese, but I did not get a good college. So
okay,
I picked up Delhi University and I started doing Japanese with the second year of my college, and I did 3 years diploma in Japanese. And then I
okay,
worked in IBM for about 2 to 3 years as a translator. And back then, I was helping my mom with her craft business. She was working as well, but craft was her hobby. So I was helping her with a craft business, and I thought that if I want to help her grow her business, I need to learn digital marketing so that rather than hiring someone going out, I can do it for her. But while I visited the institute, there was this very nice lady who convinced me, and thank God she did. She told
okay,
me that you have Japanese, you have one skill, and then maybe if you learn digital marketing, you'll have an edge over all the other Japanese linguistics because all of them know the language, but you know
right,
something which is different. And this was back in 2018. So I thought, yeah, that makes sense. I want to do business. So why not, have a combination of two skills and stand out from the crowd? So that's how I started learning marketing, and then things unwind, and I jumped into becoming a marketing agency. So that's how I
okay.
started learning digital marketing.
So it's your friend that told you about this trending thing, and then you thought you'll better learn deeper and then venture into doing a business
Right.
around it. Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's amazing that one person whom you have known could completely transform the trajectory of your life with one simple advice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have also
Yeah, yeah.
been
And
experience.
right.
I've also experienced such similar things because before I came came into writing books, I had one friend who kind of motivated me to attend workshops and things like that, and that's how I came into all of this. So I definitely want to thank that experience, conversation with a friend who pushed me towards this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the ironic part is that, the person who motivated me to do this did not do digital marketing themselves ever.
Okay. Okay. I see.
Yeah.
I think that was a problem area for them too, and then they were seeing you as a resolution.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. So it worked
Wonderful.
in my favor. So thanks to them.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So after your course, then how did you, jump into entrepreneurship? Did you have a family background where entrepreneurship was the in thing, or you were like the first person to do that for your family?
So I think there has been entrepreneurship in my family, though my mother
Okay,
was working in a corporate office, but then there have been traditional businesses. from my
Okay.
father's sides and also from my mother's side,
Okay.
my grandparents from my mother's side. There has been
Okay.
a little bit of entrepreneurship, but I was never too involved in it because they were traditional businesses.
Okay.
So I was also of the I was always of the fact that I have to do a job and then maybe I would get into entrepreneurship. So from there, what I started doing was, now I am somebody that once I pick up something, I don't really wait for things to get over and then I'll take action. I am like an immediate action taker. I'll just do it like in a
Okay.
couple of seconds. So once I started learning digital marketing, 1 or 2 months into it, whatever I'd learned so far, I started approaching people, especially my friends and family, my inner circle, telling them
Okay.
that hey, I'm learning this. I could do this for you. Are you
Okay.
interested? So even before I quit my job, I had a few clients, though the money was not the factor there because they were
Right.
really low paying clients. Because that time I wanted, okay, can I do this? Because marketing was completely new to me. So
Right.
even before I left my job, I started taking a few clients and started experimenting with their profiles.
Okay.
And these were people who were just experimenting businesses themselves. So there was nothing to lose. They were
Right.
paying really low. I was testing my skills on their profiles
Yeah.
just to see if I could make it for them. So it
Makes
was a
sense.
win-win situation. Yeah. So I
Okay.
think I was making myself ready before I jumped into a full-time business while I was in my
Okay.
job, like a side gig.
Got it.
And I didn't know it's called freelancing back then.
When was this? Which year was this?
This was 2019.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think the second part of 2019. So
Okay.
I think freelancing as a term was becoming popular, but I
Yeah.
was not as such aware of it.
Yeah, I was just curious to know if it's like after COVID, but I think you did that even before COVID struck. And the reason why I say that is because after COVID, a lot of people were consciously looking at freelancing as a career because you never know
Yeah,
when your
yeah,
job is gone. Okay.
yeah.
Makes sense.
So it was actually, I was getting married that year,
Okay.
2019. So we consciously took this decision that now both of us are earning and one of us could take the risk now.
Okay.
So one of us could, jump into entrepreneurship, and I had to take the first plunge. So
Right.
I got married in December, and I put my papers in October, I think. So 11th
Okay.
was when I got married, and 26th
Okay.
December was my last working day, 2019. So I
Okay.
didn't even knew what is coming my way.
Okay. Okay.
The
But it's
COVID, I
interesting
meant.
that you mentioned that you tested yourself out and then like
Yeah,
to see if you can do that, and then when you found yourself confident, then you take that plunge, and uh, then it becomes a little
right.
more easier. So
Yeah,
Manmeet, when you ventured finally and then you got your few clients, maybe converted the ones that you already worked with, and then how did you
yeah.
build the other set of clients that helped you, grow? I'm sure you would have employed some kind of generation strategy yourself, which would have worked for you. So what were those few things that you did?
Okay, so I think in the first 6 months, there was no strategy as such. I
Okay.
was using a concept which I realized only until now, once
Okay.
I've scaled my business. And I call it somewhere around like CRR framework, which is content, relationship, and retainer. That is, you put out content, that is, you put out a story, and then
Okay.
you build a relationship using that story, and then you move that client to a retainer client. That is, you just not work with them once, but you work with them again and again so that you don't have to hunt for clients every month. So back then, so I'll give a little bit of context to it because I learned digital marketing. I was doing my own business. So the first thing that I had to do was design my own website
Okay.
because I'd left my job. So I did not have the money, of course, to go out and pay someone to do it for me.
Okay. Okay.
So I took about 4 months to design the perfect website that I wanted for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And the story part comes using WhatsApp. So WhatsApp was the only tool I had back then because
Mm-hmm.
I was not really very active or not a lot of followers on social media, only friends and family there. So like a
Okay.
curious, happy kid, I start putting it out, whatever I have. My Facebook profile, my Instagram personal profile, my
Okay.
WhatsApp, and I start putting out there that, hey, I've launched my business, this is my website, blah blah blah. I'm so happy, my
Yeah.
baby's launched and stuff like that. So people saw it, and then they also saw the website I designed. So I think people got the message from there that okay, she can do good website, and I started getting website business.
Okay.
So I started doing websites, but soon I realized that I was working in the business, not on the business. It's because I'm doing the websites and it's a
Right.
one-time project. Now the website is over. Now,
Yeah.
when do I get the time to hunt more clients? So that's
Right.
when I thought that, okay, retainer is very important.
Okay.
Even if the client works with me 6 months, at least I'm sorted for the next 6 months. I can't
Yeah.
work on one-time projects uh, for,
Got it.
a longer period of time.
Correct.
So I think when it comes to my lead generation system in the first year of my business, it was referrals, it was stories, and it was relationships.
Okay.
Now I also call myself a little bit of a shameless marketer. No matter where I go, whether it's a wedding function, whether it's a family gathering, no matter where it is, I would
Okay.
not shy away from telling people that, hey, I'm doing this business.
Okay.
Do you want me to work for you, or do you want me to work for some of your friends? Or
Mm.
my brothers, my sisters, my cousins, I wouldn't try. I would talk
Right.
about
Right.
my work bluntly because in the starting, if I don't talk about myself, nobody else will.
Right. Right. That
So
makes sense.
so I think my entire strategy was keep sharing what I'm doing to stay on the top of the head. One thing I believe is, especially for the country like India, everybody is watching everybody. Now
Okay.
they might not react to your story when
Right.
our numbers are saved by multiple people,
Okay.
this relation and that relation and cousin and distant relative and so on and so forth. So at any given point in anybody's phone, at least there are 100 or 150 people, I would say, at any given point, contacts saved. So if I
Okay.
put out a WhatsApp story, I might see 50 people have seen it. They might not respond. They might not say anything on that, but they're
Right.
watching. There's this
Okay.
auntie with the glasses that they're watching. So I just made sure that whatever I'm doing in my business, I just document it on WhatsApp stories and I keep telling people, okay, this is what I'm doing. So that I stay on
Okay.
the top of their head. Next time
Right.
somebody talks about digital marketing, I pop up to their mind, oh, Manmeet is doing this. Do you want me to connect to them?
Makes sense.
So yeah, so
It's
that was
about
it.
it's all about
Story and
it's all about creating an emotional connection with whoever you know. So they kind
exactly.
of
Yeah.
have you in your mind, and the visibility just works magic for sure.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. So I
But
think the crisp answer would be story, and then that story connects you to a person who can then recommend you for business.
okay, okay. So if we
Yeah.
if you look at your first 100 clients, let's say, so how much of it were referrals and through your trusted network?
Okay, so I would say until today, 3 to 3.5 years in my business, until today, all of them are through referrals and all of them are
Okay.
through trusted business.
Uh,
Always when I thought that now I should launch a pipeline, now I should launch a cold outreach method, now I should launch a Facebook ad campaign, I do all of this for my clients. But the
okay.
moment I planned something for myself that, okay, let me do this, 4 or 5 clients would walk my way from somewhere and I'd be like, okay, I'm sorry, I don't need it now. So every time I
Okay.
thought of launching a campaign for my own self, I never had to do it because I got business.
Oh,
So
wow,
for
wow,
me,
that's
this,
amazing. I think that your
so
work
for me,
speaks for itself, and then people just,
yeah,
refer. Yeah, that's amazing.
yeah, right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and when you wanted to scale, I'm sure you would need more people around you as a team.
Right,
So how did that
right.
hiring process go for you? Did you like say, let's hire people and then see if we can get work, or was it a very measured way that you added more people?
It is definitely a measured way. I
Okay,
never went the route of let's hire people and look for clients because
okay,
I think that would put me in a very desperate position to work with any client that comes my way.
right,
Because if I've hired people, now I need to pay their salaries. And if I need to pay their salaries, I need to have consistent money coming.
okay,
So I hired very selectively looking at what is the urgent need right now. What is that I need to outsource from this month onwards, which cannot be handled by me or by my co-founder. And slowly and gradually now I've built a team of about 8 people.
okay.
So it was very selective. It was the client has come in, and now I need to look for people because the client is going to stay, and I need to deliver them good.
Okay. In that kind of an approach, isn't that challenging when you have a lot of things on your plate and you have to deliver in like 2 weeks and you don't necessarily get an extension of the deadline? So you lose a lot of business, isn't that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd agree to that. And I think in that, the approach works wherein, you commit to the client accordingly. Like, for
Okay.
example, if you see, like, right now we have a client coming up on the 1st of November. We've signed a contract where we start working with them for the 1st of November. So I have time right now to do any kind of hiring that I would like. And in the initial years of your business, there's a little bit of grind. So when I started alone,
Yeah.
I was doing all by myself, everything. And then my
Right.
brother came in as my co-founder. He
Okay.
took the major part of it. He did the entire delivery and I did the client retention. We
Okay.
divided the work into getting the business, that is in the business, on the business. Now I was on the business, he was in the business. Now it was time to move him also out from in the business. That is when we started expanding slowly and gradually. So
Okay.
I think this is kind of a balance you have to maintain, that once you're looking out for people, you do the grind yourself a little bit. And once you know that the client is staying a place for a month and so on, then you get the people in, because then it would be a higher fire situation. Okay, come in, the client is coming. Okay, go, I don't have the money. I would
Okay.
not like to do that to people. So,
Okay. That's
yeah,
interesting. So another school of thought is like, we should, gather a lot of capital from outside and not use your time, your money for your business. So
yeah.
what is your opinion on such people?
I think you're talking about funding, is it?
Sorry, can you please repeat that?
Uh, yeah, yeah. I'm so sorry. I am saying that if I'm correct, so you're talking about funding, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think funding in digital businesses, especially if it's not a e-commerce product where you have to invest a lot, I don't think funding is important, because you lose the power of decision making, even if it's by 1%. It's because now you have given the power of somebody else to take a decision in your business as soon as they put money in. And then what do you do with that money? Is because when you are a service provider, the maximum you need right now is for a laptop, for
Right.
Wi-Fi, or the
Yeah.
maximum you would need maybe a camera, and the investment that you would need for the entire year maximum could be 10,000 rupees, including a domain, hosting, an email thing. Maximum could be like 10, 15,000. So I think that is something you can borrow from your parents, and they would happily give it to you
Yeah.
and not ask for the equity share. So I think at least for digital businesses, taking funding is losing the power to take decisions in your own business. Today, if I want to do something, I'll just think of it and do it. Like go on my social media and write, I'm doing this. Rather than waiting for a meeting, writing to the director or whoever has put the money and then waiting, oh, will I get a yes? So I think funding is not for digital businesses, at least if you want to feel the
Okay.
power of making a decision yourself.
Yeah, that's the beauty of digital business. I also agree because I'm doing this
Yeah.
with with minimal cost, right? So I can,
Yeah,
write
right.
books and get valuable insights from people like you. So wonderful. And also in terms of time, I know you talked about like creating a measured way of hiring more people, but a lot of people say that I am an entrepreneur, so I would just, gather contacts and then have them work together, and also have the time freedom and not necessarily employ my own time while I'm maybe attending events or meeting people who may be potential clients. So how does that balancing act go in your business?
Yeah, I think that is definitely true. And that is the name of the game, that the business owner or the founder who starts it, they're responsible. Their core job as a founder is to get more business, to meet more
Yeah.
people and do networking. And that's what I do now. But I think
Okay.
there's always a journey to it. You can't
Ah,
expect it to do from the first go, is
right.
because when somebody is joining your business as an employee, they are coming with their own sets of experiences and knowledge, and now
Mm,
they have to fit into your culture. What are the values that you've set for your company? How do you deliver to your clients? Do you make your clients wait on Saturday, Sunday for a response if something is urgent? Or what is the culture fit that you've set in your company? And your people need to shadow you
right.
as a founder, because I believe a business is largely driven by the vision of the founder and the
Yeah,
thoughts that they
absolutely.
have, the
Right.
personality that the founder has. A lot of
Yeah.
businesses would reflect the personality of the founder in some way, because they started it and they were all alone for a certain period of time. So I think it's a journey. In my case, if I would say, the first
Mm,
year I was all alone, 1.5 year. Then my brother
okay.
came in for the next year. And now,
Okay.
if I talk about myself, starting August, I have been traveling until October. Right now, also I'm in Bangalore.
Oh, is it
I've
okay?
been yeah,
Oh,
I've been
okay.
traveling all through. I'm also taking care of the work, but I've
Okay.
been traveling all through. Now I'm at a position where I can meet people, I can get more business, I can do the networking, I can go one level up. But
Right.
then I have to give the time, like from day one, if you expect everything is going to be a better process, that is not going to happen.
Right.
Entrepreneurship is a little bit of thorns before you get to the roses. So you have to walk the thorns, is what I
Got it.
believe. You have to do the grind to tell your employees, okay, this is what I want.
Right.
I mean, you can't tell them what you want until you do it yourself.
That's very
Yeah.
valuable. So it's like there is a phases of different aspects of entrepreneurship. It's not that you become an owner and then you have people here, but you have to walk that
Right.
path to be able to teach others, and then you
Right.
scale up. Okay.
Right. I think the moment you quit your job and you start, you're self-employed.
Right.
You've
Right.
employed yourself in the business. You're doing everything.
Yeah.
You're wearing all the hats. You're wearing all the hats, sales,
Right.
marketing, and delivery, operations. Everything is on your head.
Yeah.
And slowly, you know, start giving one cap to each person, and then you move to a position where you're like just one hat, getting the business, the founder cap. That comes to the later stage.
Right. I'm a big fan of Robert Kiyosaki. I, in fact, attended his event in Mumbai last month. So
Oh
he
yeah, the
also,
growth summit.
yeah, he also talks about this point where, you have different phases. Like start with being
Yeah,
an employee and then self-employment and then being a big business owner and then an investor
yeah.
where you are just,
Yes,
cracking
exactly.
deals. So I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
everything what you say resonates with that logic too.
yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Manmeet. It's been a delight learning from you. Any advice that you can give to new entrepreneurs who would be interested in self-employment from, let's say, employee phase of their life?
Okay, so I think I'll say what I began this discussion with when
Mhm.
you asked me that what was my motivation to get into business, right?
Yeah.
I said that back then the motivation was that I wanted the freedom of time and I wanted money, like I wanted to
Right.
make more profit. And I would like to end by saying that those are the two things that you should not think of when you're coming to
Okay.
entrepreneurship. That is because once you start in a job,
Hmm.
you have like 9 to 5, and maximum if your boss asks you to extend, you'll do it 7, 8, and on minimum days you might do it 9, 10, depending upon the nature of job
Right.
that you're in. But when you're an entrepreneur, you're working 24/7, and when I say that, that is because your body might stop working, but your mind is working because
Ah,
you need to fill your bank account. So your mind is
right.
always
Right.
on the run. So you
Yeah.
never stop working when you're an entrepreneur. Second,
Correct.
when you're chasing money, you will not get it. It's
Okay.
because you're desperate and people sense it. Okay, she's
Mm.
in for the money. When I sit with someone and when I'm talking to them and back and forth, I know that I need money from this person. My conversation is driven like that. People sense it. And
Right.
they understand, okay, I don't know what is the kind of value she'll give, but she definitely wants my money, and
Ah,
everybody can sense it. So those are the
right.
complete two reasons somebody should not follow. Rather, I always say that in my business, until I was chasing money, I could be get to it. It took me 3 years, or rather 2.5 years, to go from zero to 30,000 rupees per month as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
But then when I stopped chasing money, is when money started chasing me, and I moved from 30,000 to about 3 to 4 lakhs per month in like 6 months.
Wow.
And that happened is because my focus shifted from money. My focus shifted to that, okay, I have to deliver people. I
Right.
have to work with people. I have to give genuine delivery, and the money will follow. And I'm sorry, the answer is a little long, but how
No
does
worries.
this happen? Because, when you're actually, you quit your job, you're doing freelancing, and there's zero bank balance, how do you actually shift your focus from money? It's not practically possible. We are all human. So
Yeah.
I say this, that this is one thing that I did is that my husband was my backup because he was earning good. He was my
Yeah.
financial backup. He was my financial support.
Right.
Even then, I had those panic attacks because I didn't have the money because I've been working for so
Yeah.
long. So you get that where's my money?
Oh,
Irrespective of it, you'll get that feeling. So I always say anybody who wants to jump into entrepreneurship, have like 6 months of what you're making right now in your bank account, or at least 50% of it start making it. Like there are two options. Either if you're earning, let's say 10,000, so keep 60,000 in your bank account, or at least start making 5,000 with freelancing before you jump into full-time entrepreneurship. Now, what would that help you with? That would not help you with that you'll have the money to give on your expenses. That will help you with a piece of mind. Now you'll not be desperate for money.
mm.
You would know even if this client doesn't come, I have the money. So there was this example that I was talking to a money coach. He said that if you're walking down the road and you get an opportunity to talk to a client and you have 10,000 in your pocket, if you're sitting with that client and the client is saying, no, no, I can't do in this much, this is very expensive, immediately your thought is, dude, I have money. If you want to work with me, you work. You don't want to work with me, don't work. I have the
Okay.
money. So that's the comfort you have. And you would not say, if the client is saying, okay, do this much in 5,000, if your pocket is empty, you'll be like, okay, let's wait for 5,000. And then
Right.
you'll burn out yourself.
Yeah.
Now you don't
Makes
have the
sense.
time to go to another client is because again you're working in the business, not on the business. You're working for a lesser amount and you're working all month long. When do you find a second client? So to have that money in your bank account or to have a financial backup or any kind of support is a peaceful support which tells you that, dude, I have money. I can work with you. I can provide value. Do it for a lower cost. That's okay. But don't buy me cheap. So
Right.
that money is important to have that peace of mind. So when you jump into entrepreneurship, do it for the love of it. If you can take that grind, if you can work 24/7, if you can wait for months when the money will not come in, that is an entrepreneurship is for you, and that's a hard fact. And people only realize it when they jump in.
Right. Right. That's
So
a
a long
beautiful
answer.
beautiful insight. It's absolutely valuable because, a person who is in a comfortable job, when he quits, he kind of wants that same lifestyle that he's used to, and then he's
Absolutely.
chasing money, and that's the mistake that most people do, as you said.
Right.
But on the other hand, when you deliver value, like 10x value for whatever price point you give, it becomes easier to, find referrals and also a lot of
Right.
satisfied customers on your plate.
Right, right. It's all the
Amazing.
money game. I think we are
Yeah.
working for the money, but it's important to have a peace of mind in terms of
Right.
money so
Right.
that we are not desperate. We don't come out as desperate. Yeah,
Wonderful. And if you fall in that spiral, it just becomes a habit for you, and then you keep doing things at low prices, and then there's a price war between
exactly.
in that bottom of the pyramid. As my mentor Supriya Jain mentions in her sessions,
Oh,
that it's like
yeah,
you are fighting only on one point, that is your price, but on the other hand, there is much lesser competition on the value side of it, and then that's where the big
exactly.
winners are. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's the confidence, when
Yeah.
people sit with the confidence that, okay, these are my prices, you want to work, it's okay. If you don't want to work, that's okay. So the person feels, my God, what confidence. She
Right.
must have something that
Something.
she has the guts to say no, or that person
Right.
has the
Right.
guts to say no. Then your client, the to-be client, becomes desperate that I want to work with them.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, and
Wonderful.
surprise a dear friend, and I've learned so much from her as well. So
Right. Yeah, she's an absolute advocate of that, and that's what keeps her
yeah,
successful in her field for sure. The more value
right,
that
right,
you add people, the better your business gets, and that's
absolutely.
reiterated in almost all her sessions.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I did a session with her, and the thumbnail I mentioned that how to get highly paid clients. The thumbnail
Okay.
said work with rich clients.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Manmeet. It's been a delight with all the thoughts that you have put here, and I'm sure the viewers will find amazing value while they progress in their journey.
thank you
Any
so
closing
much.
comments that you want to give our viewers?
No, I would just say that think it through before you get into entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
Entrepreneurship is just not freedom of time and money.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Manmeet. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Bye.